Now, in order to come with a compaction specification, okay, what we mean by compaction specification, below your foundation, okay, below your foundation, and it's the difference between standard and modified Proctor is just the weight of the hammer, the drop of the hammer, and all those specs. Okay, we can I can type in maybe at the end of the class all those numbers, but it's just different, I would say, of size of mold. Okay, we don't want to get in more practical stuff and all those things, but I mean, at this level, that I will leave it simple to this way so we don't confuse the other students. Now, field density tests, as I say this, in order to come out with or produce a compaction specification. What we mean compaction specification, as I said, below your foundation, you want to know how much you want to compact. Are you going to compact to what degree? And if you work in practice, you will hear 90% compaction, 95% compaction, and so on and so on, and 98 sometimes. And gets even if you're doing very important structures like runways and stuff for airports, it will reach sometimes 101 specification. That means you will have some certain specification. Okay, so all these are based on the Proctor test gamma D. Okay, so the gamma D is the reference that you're gonna compare to. How much out of that gamma D you want? Do you want the full gamma D, which is this from that curve? Okay, regardless if it's a Proctor or modified Proctor. Okay, there is a different method tests, but it's both of them is the same concept. That's why I say we don't have to worry too much about details of this. Okay, for right now. So the maximum dry unit weight, let's say in this method, is 120, let's say whatever, let's say this one 128.5 or 128 if you want to call it. So this is how much I get as my highest gamma dry that I can get from my soil. So how much is out of that I want? Is it 90%, I want 95%, or I want 100% of that? So what's the steps? The earthwork contractor start his field compaction in layers, so every 12-inch typically. Sometimes it's more strict, 6 inches, but let's say the typical one 12 inches. Do the roller compactors. Okay, what to do after that? Okay, it has to be somehow specified how much is the optimum moisture content from your actual Proctor test. Okay, and you know how much is the maximum dry density. So you have this too. This is the reference that we're going to compare to. So each layer that he put, okay, now typically should test it. Okay, field test the tests that I just give you a hint about them, for you get the density and the moisture, and you should achieve a specified density. What's the specified density? So this is the maximum dry density weight. Sometimes we say 90% of this. Sometimes we say 80% of, 95% of this, or 98% of that maximum dry density. And that's pretty much what is our actual conversion between field density and lab density. And I said just now, I believe, to one of the questions that I will address this one in the next topic. And then if this one passes, and then you go to the next layer. If it's not passes, you need more compaction, right? You did not reach to that. Otherwise, you will have settlement because your soil is still loose.